Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Raw Table Talk, man. Y'all know it's your host, Hot. And tonight, man, I got the Honorable Mr. Rick Price from Price Motivations in the building. So, got doggone, before we get started and get into the topics, Mr. Price, give them biography, what you got going, let the people know who you are.
Okay, I'm Rick Price. I'm with Price Motivations. I've been motivational speaking for a few years. I'm a current law enforcement officer, so currently I work at the prison, the federal prison in Tallahassee. I've been in law enforcement approximately like 33 years now. So, yes. I am father of four, grandfather of two, single. Uh, Daring and God-fearing young man. So glad to be here. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, yes, sir.
For sure.
It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
Long time coming. So I know I've seen some of your clips, some of your videos with your public speaking, and you be saying some real motivational words. And I know I told on the flyer that motivation was gonna be one of our topics. I want you to key in on that. Tell me, how do you motivate people? Like, how can you get them going?
Okay. Motivation basically starts is that you already have an idea. So let's say you have an idea of something that you want to do. Okay, and I'm listening. So the only way you can try to motivate someone is to first listen.
Right.
Listen to them. Listen at what their passion is and what their heart desire.
Right.
Okay. Then you get to the point where what's stopping you. So that's where the encouraging words basically motivate you. When you motivate somebody, you encourage them to move forward.
Right.
So with that, they're gonna give you a list of things that's probably keeping them from doing it, or I can't do this because of that, or something that's stopping them. And what you do, you continue to push respectfully, but push to let them know that they can, and keep in mind that that's their desire. You came up with this idea to want to do this.
Right.
So therefore, let me show you can. So basically, it's a back and forth thing where you say that you can't do it, and I'm gonna show you where you can.
Okay.
You see, so it's like how serious it is to you, though. That's gonna matter. How serious it is to you. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice to get to that point?
Okay.
And basically, that's what motivation is.
Okay.
Staying consistent with it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
What's one of your most successful? I know you've motivated people. Which one would you say would be your most successful motivation story?
As far as since I've been speaking, or in life in general.
In life in general, a person that you really like, your motivation really helped them out a lot.
I would say my kids.
Okay. Okay.
Especially my son, for sure. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids, especially my son. Kids need that consistently.
They do.
Yeah, consistently, because they're trying, and when they're trying, as a parent or as a role model, as an adult figure in the community, it's important that they give them that support, keep them encouraged. However, you have to listen to them now.
Right.
Yeah. Notice I keep saying that that key is that listening. You gotta listen. You can't just judge them, or tell them what they can't do, as far as you're so wrong for thinking that. You need to just listen to them, and then you show them how to cultivate that. It's just that simple. Just that simple.
Okay, we got some feedback in the comment. Hey, Kiana, what's going on? One of our #1 supporters. The Amber said kids need to be heard.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Ashley, totally agree.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, what's up, sis? So yeah, we got them. Okay, so we done broke the ice. We done got in the door. So now let's really get into the topics. I know you actually gave me this topic. You said that men need to be heard. Elaborate on that for me. In what ways do men need to be heard?
So I feel as though that men should be heard, just as well as women and kids. It's important for a man to be able to, number one, relax. Okay, relax. And when I say relax, I'm not saying relax as in sleeping or resting, but he has to be able to relax his mind. So in order for him to relax his mind, sometimes he needs to talk. So keep in mind that everything that we as humans say, everybody around you may not agree. However, with men, we catch it a little different because we're often criticized more than anyone else. So
True.
we have to have that create that atmosphere. It's for family to create that atmosphere. Your friends, your coworkers, especially a woman, too. That you, if you're with a woman, create that atmosphere to be heard. Now, when a man is able to express himself, it's a sense of release of pressure. Okay, it's not bottled up. Because a lot of times, like you take it back to when men were boys, little kids, they were told they can't cry. Stop crying.
Right.
You know,
Right.
stop crying. We was playing, and the girls were playing with the dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Boys were playing with the dump trucks. So
Yeah.
they were taught to be like, hey, you know, boys, hey, boy, you're not supposed to be crying. So in order to like to define yourself as a man, then want to be a man coming up, you had to bottle those feelings, and that was wrong.
True.
Because what happens is what happens inside, it's going to come out eventually. So what happens, you grow up into being that man, and let's say you weren't able to talk, but now you need to like get that out, whatever it may be that you're going through, whatever it is that you're going through, or good stuff. It's not necessarily always bad. You know, there's some guys that are doing some great things and they keep it to themselves for fear of being judged.
Right.
And I think, to be honest, like that's why the suicide rate of men is higher than anyone. And then when you think of,
Really?
yes,
I never knew that.
suicide rate of men is higher.
Damn,
Yeah.
I never knew that.
They're ready to end it. They're ready. It's ended. It's kind of like a situation can happen, and you take, let's say, like let's say a milkshake, and you got the milkshake, and then you got the whipped cream on top, and someone can just drop that cherry one particular day, and that man explodes because he's been carrying all that all this time.
Right. Right.
See, he's been carrying that all this time, so that little cherry, it could be something minor. It could be something very, very, very minor, but he's already boiling inside.
Yeah.
And now the water's over, boiling over, and then what happened?
Yeah. So
He
it's like
explodes,
certain
right.
things be a trigger.
Yes. But being able to express himself, to being able to be heard, it is very, very, very important. And that's in any area, no matter where he's at, work, home, church, with kids, co-parenting, whatever the case may be, men need to be heard. They need to be heard, because what happens when things go bad, we'll be like, well, what happened? Trace it back, all the way back to when that man was a boy or a kid.
Right.
That breakdown of him being able to communicate for himself, to talk. Somebody snuffed it out.
Right.
He couldn't do it, and that's what happens. That's what happens.
Got you. Now I see a comment, and that quote is something I've always heard of, like happy wife, happy life. But what about the husband? So now I see they're starting to change the quote.
Yes.
They're starting to say happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah, I agree with the happy spouse, happy house. So let's look at it like this. That this, when you said happy spouse, happy house, it's two people in a household. Let's say it's two people in a household. It's a couple. So let's look at it as we are a team,
Right.
instead of the happy wife, happy life thing. You know, that let's look at it as a team. Because what you're doing is that when that's been out for years, happy wife, happy life in the household, or what have you. That's really at the time. Now this man is he's judged based on his performance in the household.
Right.
He gets no say. Go out, work, do what you do what I say do. Keep me happy, while he is suffering or going through something, or he's just made to serve.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He's like the usher of the house. Like when you walk in church, the person is an usher. So now the man becomes the usher. But where does he release his pressure? How does he talk? Does he have it? Is he happy?
True.
Instead of saying, how is your day? How are you? How are you? It's easy to say, well, how was your day today? How did you have a good day today? Okay, cool.
It's like a script.
Yeah, it's a script. Yeah,
It's like a
I
script.
hate it.
Yeah.
However, when you look someone in their eyes, when a woman looks someone, when a woman or your kids, well, Dad, how are you? When you come home, like, well, how are you? Same thing with kids. How are you?
Yeah.
And you give him that look, and he's going to tell you, in his eyes, you're going to be able to, like, there's a lot behind that person's eyes that they really want to say,
Yeah.
and allow them to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, for
And
sure.
then home is supposed to be a safe zone too.
Yes, gotta be.
It's supposed to
yes,
be a safe
yes,
zone.
Yeah, gotta be.
I feel like a lot of houses, where it's, I'm saying rupture, but I know I'm looking for another word.
Yes.
It's a lot of rupture in the household because
Okay.
I feel like it's not a safe zone, and it could be for either party, the woman or the male.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
they just may not have that sense of trust to just let it all out without being criticized about it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
Okay, we got some more comments coming in. Let me see. Okay, facts, especially in the military, it's a lot of suicide
Yeah.
in the military. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yes.
Supposed to be a team, not against each other. Instead, like we're enemies.
Yes.
Yeah, they're supposed to be a team. A harmonious relationship is the responsibility of both. Happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah.
Okay, so that name Tony shot you out.
Hey, Tony.
Okay, we got 8 men on there. So yeah,
Yeah. John Cox.
we definitely doing good. We in the right direction. All right, so let's get on this topic list. Woo, we got something lined up
Yes,
for y'all.
sir.
So first thing I want to start off with is what do men want as far as relationship goes?
Men should want peace, a positive environment with his mate, and understanding and patience. Okay, and most importantly, trust. And when I say those things, it's like, I mean, there's really no way around it. You got to have the trust, because when you have that trust, you're gonna be able to communicate with them.
Right.
Okay, and then the peace, meaning as in I can be around you, we can talk, we can enjoy life, we can share different things, and I'm at peace. When I get off from work, I'm ready to go home, not just to my home, but I'm ready to go home to my wife or my girlfriend.
Right.
You know, like this is my so-called, let's say, some people say ride or die, but this is my confidant. When something goes wrong, be that a man wants someone to like, that's the first phone call he makes. Not his mom, not his daughters, or his son for that matter, or brother. That young lady that's in his life.
This is true.
Right. So you, and basically what I'm saying is you want somebody that's down with you, that's got your back, even when you're on bad terms.
True.
You gotta have that. And see what comes with that, the big part of all of it is respect. Men have to have respect. You gotta have, a man has to have respect. You got it. A woman wants love, but that man, he wants respect.
Definitely.
And if a man gets respect, he will perform to the fullest, and that's on any platform, no matter where now.
Yeah.
Father wise, on a job, no matter what, but especially in that household, but especially from a woman. When that man has that respect from his woman, his life will just keep accelerating. And she's right there with him.
Yeah.
She's right there with him.
Yeah.
She's right there with him. It's kind of like a cheerleader for a football team or a basketball team. They cheering on the side, right? So they're cheering that man on. That's what that man needs. He needs to know that I'm looking at everybody in this audience. It's 1,000 people. There she is.
Right.
There she is. And I ain't talking about my mom or my kids. I'm talking about my girl, my wife. That's what you want. That's what you want to have, somebody that's down with you, a life partner. Like we down. We may be in a bad situation, but I know you got my back.
True.
And that's important.
True. Okay. That's real. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. A lot of people don't really understand how big respect is, especially
Yes.
for a man.
Yes.
I know women want respect too, but men are like, we'll get more volatile. I don't know the word I'm looking for. I gotta practice my vocabulary, but we're like more aggressive when it comes to respect. Like we need it. It's something that's mandatory. It's hard to just brush off the disrespect.
Yes.
Which hence why it's so many like fights and X, Y, Z between men.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's
Respect is important. And when you're with someone too, you got to understand that you're with someone that's going to respect the relationship, especially when you're not around. That's when the respect really kicks in.
Definitely.
How she carries herself. Does she love herself? Does she respect herself? How she dresses, how she does this. And it's not like you're trying to control her or what have you, but it's like, I want to know that when my woman walks out the house and she's going somewhere, she's representing us. I ain't got to worry about her. You can't come to me and tell me nothing about my girl, about my wife, about my woman. Nah, you can tell, but I already know we're on the same page. Because what happens is a lot of toxic atmosphere that create some foolishness in the household or within that relationship. But if your relationship is strong enough to withstand that, oh nah, I got her, she got me, and vice versa with men too. Now we have to do the same thing.
Right, we do.
Yeah. To get that respect, now we got to give it as well. We got to give it as well.
Yeah, a lot of people understand it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a two-way street.
Yeah,
It has to go both ways.
You have to be like, my wife wouldn't like this, or my girl wouldn't like this, so I'm not gonna do it. Drop me off at the house.
Right.
Because I can't do it.
You have to know when it's time to go home.
Yes.
You gotta know when it's time to go home.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of people look at that as controlling, but it's really respect.
It's respect. It's respect.
Because
it's respect.
You're not gonna try your mom like that.
No,
Or your pops, if
you're
they,
not gonna try your mom.
active and got rules and morals.
Yeah.
But tell me this: how do you feel social media has took a toll on that?
Social media, I feel as though it's taking a toll on it in both ways, because there's some positive things about social media that we're also learning now. But there's some things that social media has really broken down, has like really taken a toll on the household and relationships.
Right.
I wouldn't necessarily say social media, however, the fact that social media is a tool. So let's look at it like that. Social media is that tool. True. So it's like guns kill. No, people that's pulling the triggers killing. That's what's happening. So how we using it now? So now what's happening is your image is important. So let's say you have your relationship of 1,000 views and 1,000 friends. And then you got your girl or your man at home. Which one is more important? Who are you trying to impress? And a lot of times, a lot of relationships suffer because the partners are seeking validation off the internet.
True.
Okay? They're seeking our validation off the internet, and then it gets them to thinking, well, I can do better because I can go here. Trust me, I'm going to tell you before social media, that don't work. Okay? That don't work.
Right.
Okay? Right. So, like, when you're out there and you on social media, you're getting these likes and comments, it does feel nice to be acknowledged.
Right.
And then you go home, okay, you may not have that acknowledgement at home, or you may not be getting that validation at home, or what have you. So that's why you have to communicate with that, have some kind of communication, because sometimes we get lost with that, and you just get caught up in that social media, and then now it's what the public says about you. It's done took over your whole house. It's done took over your relationship. So therefore, when you're dealing with a woman, and when a woman's dealing with a man, you have to be sure that that person understands that, hey, this is social media, this is outside, and hey, this is a good thing.
True.
However, that's last. We are first. We matter to each other.
True.
We have each other. We validate each other.
Right.
And ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of people say, I don't need nobody to validate me. No, it's not that, but you want to be sure that that person that you're putting your time into and laying your head beside, that's who got your back and who's validating you.
Right.
Yeah, that's who's supporting you.
Yeah.
As long as you got that one person, you good.
Yeah. Let me see, we got some comments. That's how. Okay, so answer. That's how I can really tell who happy at home and who's not. They nigga don't be stunned on, so they go hard on social media to be seen. Yeah, you do have that. Some people, they not getting at home, so they go get it from the internet.
Yeah.
And do you feel like that's important? That to make sure your partner knows that they're, I guess to validate them how beautiful they are. You look nice today. They put on the outfit like you're drop dead gorgeous.
Well, it's kind of like the grass ain't green on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
And but it'll stay green if you water your own grass sometimes. You feel that?
That's a jewel. That's a jewel. Y'all make sure
So,
talk that.
So let's look at it like this. We do a lot of self-care now. We go get haircuts, shave, we get our clothes, we get our cars clean. We even go to church. We go to the gym.
Yeah.
We're maintaining a lot of things, okay? But are we maintaining each other as well? Are we giving ourselves a checkup? Once a week, are we having a conversation to sit down and just say, hey, what's going on? How are you feeling right now?
True.
With us.
True.
What could we do to be better? What could we do to, let's say, go to the next level of something else? If we can plan a trip, we can do that now. We can go book some flights and go somewhere and take a bunch of pictures. But the connection, how can we make this connection a little stronger? How can we? So my thing is that if you're in a relationship, all those things that we're doing, like we going to get grocery, we getting paid every 2 weeks, we doing a lot of things over and over and over. How about sitting down with your significant other, let's for 35 minutes or an hour every week, and not assume that they're okay, but have a conversation. Seriously, a nice, calm conversation on just how are we doing? Let's talk.
True.
Let's talk.
True.
Yeah.
And it's crazy you said that. I read that in the book.
Really?
Like, that is important.
Yes.
You know, take some time, you know, and y'all, because it may be an underlying issue you don't know about.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
that y'all haven't had a chance to talk about.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a jewel right there. Now, that water your own grass, really, that's going to stick.
Yeah.
That's what's
Even if, and the thing about water your own grass, and you look at some grass across the street, but water your own grass. Trust me.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm serious.
Most definitely. So water, hey, bro, you can turn that for me a little bit. Other way, turn it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
All right. So let me get into topic number 2. All right, let's talk about being a single father and successful co-parenting. You know, I know it's a lot of single parents out there, and honestly, we're babies raising babies. So
you
know, from a OG standpoint, give us some keys to successful co-parenting.
Just try.
Okay.
Just try. Let's look at it like this. There is not one perfect parent. There's not one perfect rule book or manual for parenting. Okay?
You're right about that.
So the thing about it is just trying. And when I say that, if you put, let's say, that kid first, that situation of the kid first, okay, and keep that in mind every day when you're working and whatever it is you're doing. You just keep that kid in mind. Parenting is almost like dating. If you think about it. So let's say this girl you got, and you're trying to check on them all the time. Good morning, how you doing? You know, you're fresh. Everything I just said about a relationship, remember it's a relationship now.
Right.
The relationship you create with your kids, not just on the holidays and birthdays and Children's Day and Father's Day and Mother's Day. Just every now and then have those conversations with them when you don't want nothing from them.
Right.
When you don't want nothing from them. And just be able to listen, hear what they say. Because just because they're our kids now, that doesn't mean that they're our property. And when I say that, they may look like us, they may favor us, they may act somewhat like us, but they're their own person. So it's important that you get to know that person.
True.
So the only way you're gonna get to know that person, you gotta date them, you gotta talk to them, you know, you gotta like chastise them sometimes, you know, you got to get on from time to time, you got to motivate them,
Right.
you got to show them some things, you have to become transparent. And then with kids now, share some of your dirt with them, share some of that dirt, because I say a lot of times like some of the same things that kids doing now, we was doing that stuff. It's just easier because the social media just blowed it up.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's a very true statement because, you know, that's something I always, you know, wanted from a parent, you know, like, hey, I heard this story about you back in the day. You lay it on me.
Lay it on me,
You know what I'm saying? Lay it on me.
And as far as like the co-parenting part is concerned, you have to understand it's like it's a team effort. And of course, like when things go wrong, when you first start out, then it's kind of like, okay, I'm the best parent. No, she the best parent. She feels like I'm the best parent. It's like a battle. Now it's a battle. We're battling now.
It's kind of like a competition.
It's a competition because you got all kind of crazy stuff going on. You got court stuff going on. You got all this old foolishness. And trust me, in that court system, you just a number. So like they don't know your heart. They don't know none of that. So it runs that avenue for a while.
Right.
Then things taper off. Okay. And then sometimes when you get in a situation where, hey, it's just you and the kids. So you may become a single parent, whatever situation that brought that on. You have to tackle that. Ain't no time to be breaking down.
True.
You have to tackle that. Whether you're a mother raising a kid on your own or a father raising a kid on your own, you just keep trying. Keep trying. It's like every day. Take care of it. Just keep trying. And that kid is going to see it. You're not raising a kid for the approval of the other parent. Sometimes we get caught up into that because sometimes we'll have the other parent may try to manipulate us, and we may try to manipulate them as well. However, keep that kid in mind. Now, what happens now? My mom told me a while ago, a long time ago, kids don't stay babies forever.
True.
So when a kid grows up, kid actually see what's happening, what's going on. I hope you did enough work with that kid so the day they lay you out, that kid has something nice or something good to say about you. You get what I'm saying?
True.
And also, you want to be that in a place where if that kid is in trouble or going through something, you hope and pray that you've done a good enough job with that child to be able to say, hey, you know what? Let me call my dad, or let me call my mom. That's it. Because if you've done that, my kids, when we come around, my kids are grown. I got one. My son is 17.
Right.
My kids are like 30, 27, and 24. So they're grown. But do you know the thing that we break our backs about when we try and take care of our kids? We buying them this and we spending money on this and buying that. Do you know ever since they become grown, I don't hear about nothing I bought.
They talk about memories.
They talk about memories. They talk about the memories. And then sometimes we get caught up in our lives when we were like working so much and trying to get money or whatever like that, and we kind of like putting the kid to the side or looking for a babysitter. We got to get this money. And before you know it, that kid is off to the left somewhere, and before you know it, you done turn around, that kid is grown up.
And then they were raised by something else.
It was raised by something else, or right, something else or someone else. And let's pray to God it's something that's positive, and that's how we lose a lot of kids. That's how we lose a lot of them. So it's like you have to just keep trying, and then you have to sacrifice. Like sometimes it's like this. Sometimes you can have a career, and your career is important, and we understand that.
Right.
But is your career really worth losing that connection with your kid, especially now if you made some life choices that like put you in a situation where, let's just say the kid got to be over here and you got to be over there, or if it's split households or what have you, you got to think about that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like with the kids, man. You have to talk, man. You just have to talk. You have to listen. Seriously, listen, because if you don't listen to that kid gonna go out and someone's gonna listen to him, and you done lost him. And now it's like, I can't reach him. I can't talk to her. I can't.
I see that.
No, you may have bought him a bunch of stuff. You may have did all that, but do you really know him? Or do they really know you? You see?
Can they talk to you? Or are they scared
Can they talk to you? Yes. Can they talk to you?
Yeah.
And you can't judge them. You can't.
Yeah.
Man, I see so much pressure on kids, man. It's like they gotta do this or they gotta do that. Nah, I just want mine to be at peace, whatever decision they make. And they come to me with an idea, and I just say, okay, let's look at this now.
Right.
What's your opinion? What's your plan with that? You know, and go, okay, well, try that.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
If that's it, I'm your supporter. I can't judge you because what you like now, I may not like. And what I like, you may not like.
True.
They are people now. We got to keep in mind, kids are people.
True.
No matter how young they are, how old they get, they're people.
True. So
Yes,
do you
yes.
feel that that adults are even still learning how to be parents?
Yes, because and it has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with age. My son is 17. Okay, he's the only one in school right now, and of course, a lot of his friends, their parents, probably like 10 to 12 years younger than me. The thing about it is, we're all trying to be better, and some of us are just starting to find ourselves.
Right.
You see, like I heard my daughter say one time, the 20-year version of me, and then like Deron gets the 40 and 50-year version of me.
Yeah.
It's two different people.
Yeah.
You know, I look at some pictures. Google don't play. It show you some pictures of yourself. Like,
Right.
man, I remember that guy right there, and it's like, man, like, nah, I ain't him no more.
Yeah.
You gotta grow, you know, and it has nothing to do with age. It's just experience. You've experienced so much.
True.
Yeah, experienced so much, man. I mean, I'm 52, and let's say I have a conversation with a 32-year-old. Okay, he could have had the same type of experiences I've had. Yeah, he can. He can. But a lot of times now we're trying to find ourselves, and some of us get caught so much in ourselves now too that we do forget about that kid. And that kid ain't gonna forget that. That kid ain't gonna let you know it. That kid is not gonna like let you forget that when he gets older. He or she gets older, they gonna let you know that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that experience.
What advice would you have for a father that's like, say his child is borderline grown, so now he's coming back into the life, or she is coming back into the life. What advice would you have for them? You know, child is kind of, you're a stranger to them.
a child is trying to, an adult is trying to come back into a child's life.
Yeah. So basically, like, say, you weren't really around for the youth part. So
Okay.
now your child is a teenager, borderline grown, and something happened, and now you pop out the blue, and you want to come in and stomp your feet,
Okay.
basically.
Now, yes. So what would have to happen with that? There would have to be an honest conversation about accountability of what happened. Because that child really has to understand and know from you, truthfully and honestly, what happened that caused that divide. Okay? And when that child is talking, and when you're talking to the child, it's very important to be honest and listen. Now, if that child expresses him or herself in a way that may not be that favorable upon you right now, because it's fresh, you ain't been there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You gotta understand that, and you gotta respect it. You have to respect it, because that's their feeling right now. But if you're serious about it, you'll take it on.
Right.
See, you can't do the blame game or the pointing fingers at everybody else, because at the end of the day, we all have a decision when we deal with our kids now. We all have a decision now.
True.
We all have a decision, and we have to live with that decision. However, we also have to pay for that decision. Whether it's good or bad, you're gonna have to do that. And it can happen now, but you have to accept accountability. And you can't rush a kid to, oh, you need to be over this by now. No, you don't do that. You can't judge a person on their level of hurt and put a time limit on when they're supposed to heal from it. If you come at a kid like that, and if you come at a grown up like that in a conversation, wait a minute now, you can't tell me how to heal and how long it's gonna take me to heal, because right now I'm not benefiting you. So right now you need me to hurry up and heal so I can benefit you in some form or fashion. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
Seriously.
That's true.
Yeah. So that kid can deal with you, but it'll deal with you from a distance. But if you come clean and be totally honest with it, it could work. It could work. But all in time. But you just can't rush it. But you gotta stay honest, and you gotta be truthful. Gotta be truthful.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right, single parents. I hope y'all got some jewels from that. Matter of fact, I'm not done with that topic. I'm sorry. What is the key for a successful relationship with your kids?
Not judging them.
Not judging.
Nah. Don't judge them.
So your son, okay, say, how can I put this? Because I know you real active in your son. So you have a guy. He hasn't been around for his son, and then they end up coming back around to each other later on in years. But your son, not a little boy anymore. He could be a full blown gangster. Like what is how can the father navigate that or accept that?
Okay, so the thing, let's say the son, let's say is into some things. Let's just say the son is into some things he ain't got no business being in, and the dad is trying to come into his life.
Right.
So he got the first thing. Now with those two right there, the father and the son, now it's two men coming together. So with those two men coming together, that dad has to realize you're entering another young man's atmosphere now. Okay,
Right.
and you have to talk to him and approach him as such. He's a grown man now.
Right.
Now you got to get to know him. You got to get to know him. Let's don't get to what he's doing right now. Don't come in there with that hammer trying to tell him what to do and what not to do. You're losing. You got to get to know that young man now. He's not a kid anymore, like you said. So you have to get to know him. And if that young man is open to receive you in that fashion, then allow that, but it takes time. Now, what he's doing for his life, the things that he's doing, okay? When you get close to people and you get to know them and you start listening to them talk, they're pretty much going to tell you in so many words why they are the way that they are if you allow them to talk. Okay? And what happens is you kind of stay away from the life that they may be living that you may not like, and then you ease into it and get to understand it. And once you get to understand it, you can pull them out if they're in a bad situation just as well as you can push them into a good situation. But you have to tread carefully with that. And
Yeah.
that's
Very sensitive.
Yeah, it's very sensitive. You have to be teachable, and you have to like accept. Have to be able to accept it. Now you got to be able to accept. You can't judge them,
Okay.
and you just have to accept what it is they have going on, and hopefully, prayerfully, if you're a praying person, you know, create that good relationship, and after a while. But again, got to keep applying pressure. You just can't call today and want to pop up today, and you ain't. And we don't see you no more for 2-3 months. That don't get it. You go to the barbershop and you do all this kind of stuff more. So again, it's like dating. You got to get to know them.
That's real.
Yeah.
So what do you have what advice would you have for parents any relative really, like, okay, the ones that are judgmental, like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, you should be doing this, you need to stop doing that, but they don't help. You know, they don't give you the resource that you need to stop doing whatever it is they're doing that could hurt you or harm you.
Okay.
You know, people will be big on, oh, that boy need to stop selling drugs, or he need to stop doing this, doing that, but they're not saying a solution of what he could do, or, you know, telling him what he could do, or even grabbing him by the hand and helping him. I don't see that no more. Like, it's no more helping hands really around.
Okay, so like we're talking about an adult child, like a.
Well, I mean,
let's say, like,
not even a child. You know how sometimes your babies always be your babies?
Yes.
No matter what, your child will be 30, but you see, you know, they're on the wrong path, and it's like, you need to stop doing that. Okay, if I stop, now what? You
Okay.
know?
Yeah, so like what happens with that, if you can, and that's a tough one now.
Yeah, because I see
That's
it
a
happen.
tough one. Yeah, that's
See
a
it
tough one. So what happens with that, you have to, like, again, find out what that person's interest is. What do they want to do? But then ask them this question here, because I learned this at work. Now, what's your retirement system for that? Let's say you got someone that's a dope boy, a dope girl, or doing something illegal. I want to know now, what's your retirement system for that? Just say it now, just having a conversation. You're not judging, but you're trying to do what you want them to do. You want them to think.
Right.
What's
Because
your
sometimes
retirement
they
system
don't
like?
think.
Right. Like now, let's look at that. How safe is that? Now you say you love your kids. You say you love your wife. You got them all depending on you. Now, if things go bad, can you handle that? You love your kid, but do you love your kid and your family enough to say, hey, you know what? I'd rather go to McDonald's and work at McDonald's and work at Target to support us in a Section 8 apartment.
True.
Than to, let's say, live in this extravagant thing, this extravagant place, we got everything, and then what happens is, the next time you see mom or dad, it's in a visiting room. And you got 10 and 15, 20 years. Okay? So you have to think about that. Now, what put them there? Like, what puts a person there? Now, that's the thing. Let's say the person is, let's say, into something illegal. That's totally that person's choice. Because let's just say they wanted more than they could afford at the time. And that's normally what happens, okay? So the thing about that, there was nothing else for me to do. Well, let's think about that. You know, like, life is full of choices, okay? And you got to start somewhere. Everyone that I know is successful started out crawling. Crawling and walking. I've crawled, walked, ran, fell down again, crawled, scooted, ran again. And that's all in it.
Yeah.
However, you have to understand, like, I gotta keep this path going to stay positive, and things will fall in line eventually. Meanwhile, let me stay on course with this, because if I go do that, I know what could possibly happen. Because when we're doing certain things, we'll think we have it all together when you're doing it, and it's always going to be a small detail that you didn't think about. I've been working at a prison since 1990, and it was always a small detail that person left out, or didn't think, or you thought you was tight with, that left out, and you be like, now I got these 15, these 20 years.
Always.
You know?
Okay, so
That's real, man.
I got a question for that though, because that's true. But
yeah.
so, what about the people that don't have, you know, no cushion, no wiggle room, nobody to fall back on? Say, okay, this person get out the streets today, they're gonna do an honest living.
Okay.
But this honest living is not gonna cover the bills and, you know, their way of life.
Okay, so at once upon a time, this young adult, let's say they was out hustling and doing their thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, kudos to that person. I'm gonna tell you why. Because to do that, it takes a smart business mind to do that kind of stuff, whatever it may be. To do something illegal and to plan it, that takes smartness, right?
True.
It does.
True.
You have to be smart to do that.
Yeah.
And if you get away with it, how successful you think you are with it, you have the brain to do that. So how about we take that same energy we put on something illegal and we turn it this way and try to do something positive. Now, what sacrifices are we willing to make? Now, I may have to let this car go back. I don't let a car go back before. Sure did. I've let a car go back. I almost let a house go back. It's okay. I can't do this. So whatever's piling up on me, we're brilliant. We are so brilliant right now, man. I think we underestimate ourselves because there's so many things that we could do, that we can do, that we're just not willing to do because we'll give ourselves a pass and be like, okay, well, man, I can't do that or I can't do. No, yes, you can. You can start at something simple. I'm gonna tell you just how this goes. Let's say somebody freshly incarcerated right now, if it's been to get ready to get out 2-3 weeks from now, and he got like 2 or 3 kids. He's gonna go to the halfway house. He's trying to get himself together, and he got to take care of them 2 or 3 kids. You know how many people work 2 jobs, and 2 full-time jobs to try to make ends meet? What happens is if you're trying to make ends meet, and you don't put yourself in for them 2 jobs to make ends meet, somebody gonna see you. Your break gonna come. It's gonna come. But the thing about it is like we want it fast. We want it in that microwave. We want to put it in the oven no more. We want the microwave. We want to put it on 1 minute, and we want $100,000 right quick.
Right.
Okay. Now we have $100,000 mind. We have $1 million mind, but we gotta understand it takes time, man.
True.
So that guy that's getting out, he gotta understand you gotta be putting in 6 to 8 hours a week. I know some people that are successful putting in that kind of time a week, 60 hours. You just asked me just a while ago, am I working tomorrow? Yes, I am.
Right.
That's my off duty day, but I'm going to work. I'm gonna work 48 hours a week probably. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna work to get extra to do what I need to do.
Right.
You know, but it said like FCI right now said, well, Mr. Price, you can't come to work. We gonna let you go. Okay. I'm gonna take a day. I may cry a little bit. Now I'm finna think, what do I know how to do? There's so many young men and women that know how to do so many things that can bring them revenue, but a lot of times that's beneath me. I don't want to do that, and that's the problem. See, I don't mind going to Walmart right now and start back stocking when I did back in '88. And Mr. Target, can you hire me too? I don't mind.
That's real.
For real. And then let me go back to trying to cut hair again or wash some cars.
Yep.
It don't matter. You can make it because what happens? You'll meet people, you'll see someone, and guess what? Well, hey, why don't you come do this for me? I tell you what, I see you at. Stay hard at it because it's gonna fall. It's like free throws. You keep shooting them. 1,000 free throws a day. They gonna start falling. You just gotta give it time. You gotta give it time. Yep.
And I want to key in on something you said. You was like, sometimes the car may have to go back or the house may have to go back or whatever may have to go. It's okay. And
Perfectly.
a lot of people don't want to accept that or, face that harsh reality that, like, you gonna fall sometimes in life.
Yeah.
But it's all about how you fight back.
Yeah. And you have to learn from that. When you fall, I'm telling you, you learn from it now.
Yeah.
Every lesson, every time you fall, man, there's a lesson to be learned from it, and we have to pay attention to that.
True.
I mean, all bad luck ain't bad luck all the way. It's a lot of bad luck have some good lessons behind it.
It's only bad if you let it be bad.
Yeah.
You can turn it, take the negative and turn it to a positive. Learn your lesson and keep going.
Yeah.
You know what not to do again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, comments coming in hot. Coming in hot, y'all. Let me see. Young adults now are seeking instant gratification. There are no shortcuts.
Right.
True.
That's true.
True. Somebody gonna see. Amen. Success is a marathon, not a race.
Yeah.
Cause I'm coming back harder and stronger every time. Yeah. Know your ghetto. If you must fail, fail quickly. Never heard that one before. You got time, Aaron?
Aaron,
yeah, elaborate on that. We never heard that one before.
Kick back on that, Aaron. What we got?
Yeah, that's crazy right there.
I like that. Yeah.
All right. Let me see. Okay, so take a quick spin. Back to dating at age 54, a black man, or a woman. Dating at that age, how is it dating someone you run into a partner that's younger? That's not your age. They might be like They lie nowadays, so you never know what you're gonna get. Could be 28, talking about they 35. You just never know.
I think the age thing is it shouldn't be a factor. A lot of times we feel as though that the age first thing we're thinking about is the age, but what I find to know is that let's say you got a 50-year-old and you got a 30-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
There's some times now that 30-year-old might be a little bit more mature than that 50-year-old. You know, I think it goes back to experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as dating for like the initial question when you said dating for a 50-year-old, I'm 52. Okay. So I ain't got a whole lot of chances to be taken out there right now.
True.
So now I might got one more shot left in me. You feel me? So it's like it can be challenging as long as you're dealing with someone who's healthy. Now I'm not talking about healthy as in shape. Of course she's gonna be in shape, you know, and some things are together. But is she emotionally and mentally healthy?
Mm-hmm.
Is she's like, you know, some women are hurt, just like some men are hurt.
True.
Have they taken the time to put the work in to heal? Mm-hmm. Because you can't heal a woman. You can't. And when you appear to be this nice guy, I think I'm a pretty nice guy.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and I like to go out to eat and date or something like that. And some women will like that, but are they ready for that? Like, they'll get so consumed with the way that a 50-year-old is treating, because most 50 plus year old guys, they doing pretty good for themselves at that point in life.
Oh, yeah.
They should be. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they're on their way to something. I'm not knocking the ones that may not be doing it, but they've experienced a lot, so their understanding level is a little higher. Their tolerance may have come down a tad bit, but they're a tad bit more stable. Okay, so in order to enter that 51-year-old male life, you got to really be healthy. It doesn't matter, like, for me, like, how much money you make, what you do, your education level and all that, and kid, that stuff, all those are conditions. You know, that's conditional stuff.
Right.
And I don't look at that. I look at how you treat yourself,
Okay.
how you handle yourself, how you treat your responsibilities, how you handle somebody that can't do nothing for you. That's a big key. You sit back and watch somebody that you're dating and that you're dealing with, and you watch how they handle somebody that can't do nothing for them. That's gonna tell you a whole lot. She could be treating you like gold, but you'll watch how she handles someone, and that can't do nothing for them. And then the next thing is, like, how do they handle conflict? Like, we get into how you argue, how do you resolve a disagreement? That's important, because at the end of the day, if you break up with somebody, you probably done broke up over a disagreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you about that? How are you about being accountable, holding me accountable? You know, are you looking at it, this is my relationship or is this our relationship? You see what I'm saying? Because at this point, when you 50 plus, like, you want some peace, man. You want some peace.
For sure.
Everybody like to do something different. Like, a lot of people like to go travel. A lot of people like to do all kind of things. I just like that peace, because at the end of the day, in order to be peaceful now, both of you all have to be emotionally mature, mentally healthy, okay? And able to just, like, to be that team. If you're not willing to do that, now you can't go into a relationship and expect somebody to clean up all your stuff.
True.
You can't do that now. Now, if you got a situation or something going on, of course, man, a man gonna help, and hopefully a woman's gonna help too. But most of the time, when you think about it now, most men, we really don't have no conditions when we pick a female. Now, a female gonna have a condition with us. He gotta make this, he got to do that, he got to do. No, that's there it again now. And see, me, the moment I see that, you start checking off some boxes based on the things that I do and the things that I have and all that, that's a turn off for me. That's a turn off for me. If you can't compliment me based on how we talk, how we, like, you know, just how I am as a person inside, because see, I could lose everything tomorrow. But you'll know it enough to know that, hey, he has that mindset. He'll pick it back all up again at the end of the week. You get what I'm saying? See, women are a little different. There's some guys that think that way too, but, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Let me got some comments on, cause some of these women old and bitter.
Aaron talking about Cap.
Had 30 on piece. Oh yeah, Aaron say Cap. Man, what's Cap, Aaron? What's Cap? Talk. In the comments, talk your ish. Talk your ish. She call it Cap.
Nah.
So okay, I want to ask this, and I hope this is not sensitive to anybody. I don't mean to offend nobody with what I'm about put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah.
What is the difference between an 18-year-old dating a 30-year-old and a 50-year-old dating a 30-year-old? I know a lot of well, I ain't gonna say a lot of. I've seen situations to where people get chastised for being older, going for such a younger girl, but when you see it in older terms, it's not a problem. I know couples that are married that's like 20-year gaps, 30-year gaps, maybe.
Yeah.
Shoot, you got somebody like God that's dead, Hugh Hefner gonna go get him a young Playboy bunny.
Yeah.
So why is it so bad that at a current age of an 18-year-old dating a 30-year-old, they get chastised more than a 50-year-old dating a 30-year-old or 60, whatever.
Because of the age difference as far as like when they're younger versus older.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an interesting question. However, it's so common, but then again we focus on about the age. So let's say your 30-year-old guy is dating an 18-year-old, okay, that's coming fresh out of high school. Is that a bad thing? Who's to say? Now she's 30 and he's 42. He's 42, 43.
Yeah,
is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
It really is. It's like, again, that's a choice, man. That's just really a choice. And I mean, I don't really like get into that. Sometimes, like, I have a 30-year-old daughter, so it's kind of like now I'm 52. So would I date a 30-year-old?
Would you date one of her friends?
Not
hypothetically speaking. Would you date in that age
a
range?
30-year-old? I can't say, man. I don't know, cause I really don't.
So it's really mentally for you.
Yeah, it's mentally.
She's 30 but doesn't act 30
right
at the time.
And then the thing about it is, like, I gotta think about when I was 30 and 30-year-old women around that I knew at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, like, right now I see, my daughters and her friends, they hanging out. And I see them hanging out from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, they ain't doing nothing no more than 30-year-olds when I was 30.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In my opinion, they doing a little bit more classy, if you ask me. Sometimes.
Pop, you was on that fruit meat?
No, I wasn't. No, I never go there.
Oh,
no. But I'm just saying, like you can't. It's kind of hard to say. It's kind of hard to say. Like you can't really put it. You're limiting yourself, man. Like when you're doing that, we limited ourselves with that thing because, like I said, Hugh Hefner, all those older guys are doing it. Nothing is never said. But we're more critical on ourselves and our community than anything that we do. That we think is out of the norm. But when you start living a little bit, or you kind of like isolate yourself and start reading a little bit more, you be like, hey, I've been doing this wrong for so long. So whatever makes you happy, man, I think that's the bottom line. Whatever brings you happiness, I think that's more important than about the age. Now, whether it's accepted or not shouldn't matter. It should not matter. Your relationship should make sense to nobody but you and your partner. Seriously. And that includes everybody. Kids, children, family.
I've heard that specific statement.
Yeah. So, I mean, who's to say? I mean, the world may be against you, but she got me. I got you. Because when something go on, that's who I'm calling. That's who's going to show up. Okay. And vice versa.
So I'm going to ask you this right here. Sure. And again, partner, no offense.
Yeah.
How would you feel if one of your partners were to talk to, I ain't gonna say your daughter, because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't try you like that, but one of their friends or somebody in that circle, how would you view one of your partners that do that?
To try to talk to one of my daughters?
Yeah, well, one of their friends or something. Because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't try you to talk to your daughter.
I wouldn't have no feeling about that.
No feeling?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna have no feeling about that.
Okay.
Because like what I see that my daughters and her friends, they're pretty cool. They're mature. They got this bond, right? So they're a good group of ladies.
Okay.
Okay. And like even when I showed up at the club the other night, I was like, I'm like,
it's a good vibe.
Yeah, these some grown women.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? These grown women. So like, if somebody that I know or somebody that will try to talk to one of them or try to deal with them on one of them or something like that, and it happens. If that makes them happy, man, who are we to judge? I mean, God had put a limit on us who we can love now.
That's real.
So who are you to judge who I love?
Okay, hey, now you dropped it on me.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
yeah.
That's
yeah,
real.
Yeah.
That's real. All right, let me get to the next one. Let me see. Okay, what qualities do you want your wife to have?
I would love for my wife to have confidence, be God fearing, respect for herself,
Okay.
being able to communicate, strong. If anybody out there know my mom, I would want my wife to be like my mom.
Okay.
Yeah,
They say this,
non-judgmental, just a good person. They have feelings.
They say that's what guys do. We look for our mom and females.
Yes. And got respect, for herself and the community, and just overall, that's gonna challenge me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know me. So every man needs that. You need a woman to challenge you now. You let a woman run over you, you ain't gonna. It's not.
Yeah, nah, you just
ain't gonna respect
your way.
You can say you love, her, but at the end of the day, she ain't challenging you. That's not gonna happen.
Somebody get her. Hold my features, man. Well, y'all don't care.
Oh man.
I agree with the qualities though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And take care of herself. She has to be able to take care of herself. Just taking care of herself and able to be patient and listening. You know what I'm saying? And trust me. Understand that we're partners, but at the end of the day, I wanna be the one leading this too now.
True.
So yeah, I think that's important, man.
Okay. Let me see. What is self-love for a black man?
Self-love for a black man. Self-love for a man, period. And we rarely talk about it. But self-love for a man should be, let's just say let's say he wakes up in the morning, takes a look in the mirror at himself. And he challenges himself every day to be the best man that he could possibly be. And whatever comes with that. He's seeking to be better every day. No matter what. He identifies his struggles. Okay. He identifies his weaknesses. And also he identifies his strong points. He's not afraid to seek help. He's able to express himself without exploding. He's able to be heard. He's able to come across. He's able to handle his responsibility. And then most importantly, he takes care of himself. If he's on a spiritual journey, he takes care of himself spiritually. Okay. His health is important. His attire, and when I'm saying his attire, he keeps himself groomed. He stays in shape. He eats clean. He reads. He takes time out to meditate to himself.
Yeah.
Whatever. And is not afraid to hey, I'm gonna go off alone for a minute. I need to take a little time off for myself or whatever like that. And because most men have a lot of responsibility that we don't even talk about. It's just the way that we're built. So it's important that he does that. I mean, I can't even say that he has to have a lot of friends because the friend thing, they come and go.
Right, true.
So a man really has to be strong within himself. And if he's a believer, if he believes in God, have a great relationship with God. You gotta have that relationship with God. You got to. Seriously. You got to. Because you got to get guidance from somebody.
Definitely.
And you got to, if you're gonna lead, you have to have God in the mix. Seriously.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Fellas, make sure y'all tapping into your self-care.
Yeah.
I know I definitely gonna do mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And self-care a lot of times too can be some of the simplest things. One more point. So when we're talking about self-care, that's an individual's preference. See, what may be self-care for some people may not be that right for me or the next person. You know how you say somebody try to tell you, say you might want to go, what you do, need to go do this, go do that, whatever it is. Self-care for me, like if I'm just going for a drive and listen to some music that was 20 years ago and off to myself, that's my peace, that's my time. Okay? Or I may go to one of these spots around here and where no one knows me. And I just sit and observe. That's my self-care. Now some people's self-care is different. They have to have some people around or they have to, go to Timbuktu and Planet, all this kind of stuff, and then like a lot of times I go to the gym. That piece, if I'm in the gym an hour, 2 hours, or something like that, that's self-care. Meaning as I'm in there working out. However, I'm having that alone time. I'm getting my thoughts together. I'm winding down. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm constantly thinking of what's going on. What's my next move? I'm writing stuff down. And that note on that phone, you write stuff down.
Elaborate on how important that is.
The thing about the writing things down, so it's like this. When you're in a deep thought, and you periodically, let's say, have thoughts a lot,
Mm-hmm.
it's important that you write those thoughts down. You can't remember them.
For sure.
You can't remember them. Like, you won't be able to remember them. So you can go back to them and read it. Read it back to yourself. Take notes. You got to take notes sometimes. You can't remember. I told my son the other day, make a list of your daily list. Take a list down and write down everything that you need to do that day.
True.
And you check it off.
True.
And for a man, for him to keep up with a lot of things that he has going on, he got to write it down.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a secretary, not unless you run this extravagant business or something like that. But at the end of the day, he needs to write stuff down.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean tasks. It could be just thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Or thoughts or reminders or something. It could be a note to his future self. You'd be amazed. They say how powerful your tongue is. That pencil is powerful too. Because if you go back and read some of that stuff, you're like, okay, yeah, I need to stay on that. I need to get back to that. I need to get back to that. Because sometimes you can be your only cheerleader, and you got to be okay with that.
True.
Everybody's not gonna cheer for you. And with a man, that self-love and that self-care has to be like at the utmost importance because he can't perform well. He can't perform well if he doesn't have that. And if he's looking for validation and support from everybody to make it, it's not gonna happen. Like
Yeah, you're gonna crash that spot every time.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen like that.
Writing things down allows you to manifest them as well.
Yes.
Most definitely. And it's when you said that, it kind of like struck a nerve because that's something that I started doing.
Yeah.
I started writing it.
That's good.
And
That's good.
honestly, like, you know, even when I have like a problem and I don't really want to reach out or get no advice about it, I just write down like what's going on. But by the time I'm done writing, I feel better. It feels like I let it out more on paper than I would verbally.
Yeah, that helps too. And it's nice sometimes, like when you're going through things, to have someone to talk to. Let's say like with men, women talk to each other all the time. They always talk. You know, they keep someone to talk to. Even the older women and younger women, they keep someone to talk to. And with men, we don't really have that because we're so private. You know, we don't even want to like go into the doctor.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? We don't want to go get a physical every year. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like with men, it's like, but when you do find that person or a guy that you can talk to or you can go to or what have you, you know, you're able to like express yourself and talk about things. I like talking to older guys about health more than anything. Yeah, if if I meet a guy that's in his 60s, almost 70, first thing I'm asking him, what's on your diet? What do you eat? Like, have you had any health issues? Because I want to know. I have an uncle that's living in Atlanta right now, and I think the last time I talked to him, he's like 86, 87. And I asked him, like, what does he eat? And his wife takes really good care of him. And I can tell he looks great. And I always ask him, like, what do you eat? You know, what you do? Like, you know, if you have any issues or what have you. You know, if I meet older guys at work that's down at the jail sometimes, I see some guys that's in their 60s or 70s in good shape. Hey, well, what you do? What you been doing? What kind of workouts you doing? You have to have those conversations. We're kind of ashamed to have that sometimes. We don't want to talk to the doctor about stuff. We don't want, you know, we so private. We around here suffering, and before you know it, you can deteriorate away and things and happen. But you gotta know, and we're bad about our health. We are bad about our health, man.
Yeah.
But you got to get that thing about talking and opening up about your health, man. Because if your health ain't right, you ain't gonna be around.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to be 100.
No, yeah, I'm with you now. Okay, so let me ask this. Do you believe in order to be successful, you have to be selfish?
You have to be focused, and sometimes being focused will force you to be selfish at moments.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you do, man. And when I say that, if you're the go-to person, especially all the go-to people out there, the one that the phone constantly rings, and people need you to do this, do that. Yeah, sometimes, man, I need to focus on something I got going on right now.
Yeah.
You ain't about to die or nothing. You ain't even hurt yourself or nothing like that. Okay, I'm gonna have to get back with you. And a lot of times that happens because sometimes we take on so much until it throws us off track of what our goals are. So like I said, sometimes now you don't have to step on nobody to be successful for sure. That does not work. Okay, but sometimes you have to like just back up for a minute and hey, I got this deadline I got to meet, or I got this goal I'm trying to go through, or something like that. So you have to like really, really, really like concentrate and be a little selfish with your time sometimes. Time is the most valuable thing that we have. We think we got a whole lot of it, in some instances we don't. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
like,
that's true. Time is very undervalued.
yeah, it is. It is. We don't take it as serious as we should sometimes. So I mean, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This question right here. Is it okay to work a brick and mortar job, a 9 to 5?
Yes.
And yeah, officer, you tapped in with that earlier. You know, he was like, hey,
Yeah.
if you was to lose FCI right now,
Yeah.
you ain't got no problem going back to Walmart and calling Target.
No, and go buy me a lawnmower.
A lot of people don't believe, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty boy at heart. So I'm in my mind, I done built my mindset to I'm not finna go cut no yard.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
at the same time, pretty boy, how you gonna survive in Leon County jail if you can't do what you need to do to stay pretty? So,
You can work that 9 to 5, and it's gonna take these days a little bit more than that 9 to 5 to really get by, especially trying to raise a family. When you putting yourself, I can remember like working 9 to 5, working overtime, and then go ride at zero turn like you were talking about. They laugh about that. I had a lawn business, and man, to be honest, like that lawn business helped me stay afloat.
Yeah,
I stayed. It was like I'm trying to juggle the time with the kids. Like I was like totally like my timeline was thin. I'm like working at the job, then I'm working overtime at work, and then I'm cutting yards. And my kids could remember like they were with me sometimes cutting yards. You know, they would be all of them know how to drive a zero turn to this day.
She talked about it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So the thing about it is like I mean, I did what I had to do and I included them, you know. But then I remember one day though, and I had to back off that. And D'Amber said this, and I don't know if you remember saying this one time, and it kind of hit me. And then I remember too, when I was doing a lot of work, and at the time my son's mom said something about it, because like we in our family we work, okay, so, and it was like cutting into my time with kids. So I had to learn that. And D'Amber said, well, Daddy, when we come over here, you be working or you be gone. See, and that thing hit me, man, like it was the truth. I wasn't mad at her for saying it. It was a reality check.
Yes, reality check.
It was a reality check, so I was like, God, yeah. And then I had them with me, you know, and I was like, okay. So I had to back off of it, you know, and then I was still able to make a way, and it's like, I gotta keep this time going, you know, about that, you know, I with them with that. And kids will make you change some things. If they're your first priority now, they'll change your whole life if you allow them. They'll change your whole life for the better.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, and if you just, especially if you got God on your side, He's gonna take you through and through, and you'll survive it. You'll survive it, man. I was worried about things, man, that I shouldn't have been worried about, and He had already worked it out. You see what I'm saying? So it was like, I was just, man, I didn't want to get behind. I didn't want to be broke. I know it's this, that, and that. I was just trying to do the best that I can. And it was cutting into that time, man. And a lot of things, like even when I was dealing with bikes, I used to ride bikes a lot. Spent a lot of time drag racing motorcycles all the time. Loved it to death. Until one day, I think it was like 2010, Duran was with me. I was in Thomasville. And this guy had me try this bike out, and we was riding and we was racing it, just playing around with it. And Deron was beside the car, and he said he was beside the car. So when I came through, he stood there. Then he went and got in the car when I was coming back. So me and the guys talked. And I got ready to leave. I said, Deron, you okay? He said, yeah, I'm fine. So I said, what's wrong? He said, I don't really like you doing that. And at that point there, I stopped doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped doing it.
You might
I
have saved
did.
your life.
I stopped doing it because it was like, okay, here again, listen to them children. Okay,
Yeah.
listen to them. You know, sometimes we ain't gonna listen to that. We'll listen to their mamas, but sometimes we feel like their mamas may have
Overrated.
another motive, or you just saying that 'cause you gonna be hard on me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Kids tell the truth, and I was just like, man, let me do that. Yeah,
That's one
think
thing
about that,
about
man.
them
And so I
kids
and I
don't
stopped, and he may not even remember. He was about 5 then at the time, and I hadn't looked back since. I haven't even looked back since, man.
Dang.
Yeah.
But there's no telling what they could have prevented.
Right.
Right.
He just said, I don't like you doing that. That was deep, man.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any advice you would give to your younger self?
The advice I probably would give my younger self would probably be to go hard.
But now, hold on. Now, you just said you was a workaholic.
No. And when I say go harder, not on work.
Okay.
Remember just a moment ago we talked about how brilliant our minds are.
True.
Like how brilliant, and we really underestimate our level of thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you start working and doing certain things, and you're like, I really could have been something serious by the way that I think, and some things that I probably could have done a little different, career wise, emotional wise. Yeah. So like having emotional control sometimes, that's a big deal. See, to being able to like communicate and express yourself, but then also knowing how to control your emotions with things, with the expectation you have of others. I wish I had learned that a long time ago. So if I would tell my younger self that story, then I would. You know what I'm saying? You save yourself a lot of headache, you know, a lot of your own self-inflicted things that you do, the decisions that put you in situation that you're in now. You know what I'm saying? That I may be in now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just totally being honest with that. Yeah, I have no regrets about anything. I have no regrets. Nah. Because everything you go through, it made you.
True.
So how can you have a regret about something? You know, what would you tell your younger self? Okay, that's one thing, but would I have a regret? Nah. I had to learn some things, man, and you can't. And the things that I learned, like about life in general, you have to be honest with yourself. Like I say, when a man looks in that mirror sometimes, man, be totally honest with yourself. Then be honest with your kids.
True. Let me ask you this: do you ever feel like it's too late for a person to do something?
That's
Like
hard.
you said, you said you would tell your younger self to go harder.
Mhm.
Do you feel like it's too late to go harder now?
No. I feel like when I think about that, like right now I'm at peace. Like I'm in a good spot right now.
Okay.
In life.
That's major.
Oh yeah, like I'm in a good spot in life right now. A lot of things are going great for me and my kids. My son's about to be a senior. De'Amber's doing her thing. Destiny's doing her thing. Deja's gonna be Deja and do her thing too.
Deja's gonna be
Yeah,
Deja.
but like, it's good, you know.
Yeah.
You know, eventually, like if you hold on, let's say if I had to tell somebody right now that's in a depressed mode right now, and they may be going through a storm, a dark place, because we've all been there. I have been there several times, and I won't blame nobody for it, but myself.
Right.
It gets better. You just have to hold on. You know what I mean? You just have to hold on, man. And that better day is coming. So I'm proud to say that, hey, you know what? Thank God I'm living in that better day. So my mind is clear. So it's like I'm able to like do different things for myself, make different plans. Like I've been working at the prison here in Tallahassee 29 years. So I got 4 more years I can go. I ain't finna start working. People in my family be working 40 years. So I'm pulling up to my life and work 30 years. I ain't.
Your credentials ain't
Yeah, it ain't valid. Like I listen to people sometimes say, "Well, I done did 20 years. I worked 25 years," and I'm like, "Yeah, but man, I know my mom worked like 40 years.
Yeah.
40 years at the Florida State Hospital, you know, and all my granddad, everybody worked for years. So I don't retiring at 50, 52. Like in my family, I don't know nobody done that. I don't, and maybe somebody help me out there. Is anybody in our family
But I mean,
retired before 50?
being comfortable, you wouldn't want to do that.
Then what, retire?
Yeah, like say like you know that financially you can do that at 50. You
Mhm.
wouldn't want to.
No. No. Been doing it too long. What would I do? I see too many people like leave work and they don't know nothing else to do, but then they'll try to tell you what you need to do now.
True.
So for me, like once I retire, let me go on to the next phase.
Yeah, like I see my grandma, she retired and now she just focuses on her hobbies.
Yeah.
Like
Well, yeah.
sewing and beading and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. That's like, you know, like you want to be at a place when you keep yourself busy to the point where you're comfortable but don't have to do it, but you got it. Because what happens if you're not using your mind and your body, then guess what happens?
You deteriorate.
Okay.
You right away.
See, so I don't want to
Yeah.
get to that, man. I don't want to get to that. I don't
What
wanna
about
do
like traveling and stuff like that?
I'm just not a big traveler.
Oh,
I'm not.
okay.
I'm just not. Like,
Okay.
I'm not. I don't knock nobody from doing it. I can't say what I won't do. You
Mhm.
know, if I would, somebody want to go travel, okay, I would. I just,
It's not something you gonna wake up and say, I want to take this trip this place.
nah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, like, within the U.S., yeah. Talking about going to another country, nah, man. They, you know, my granddad told me I ain't lost nothing over there.
I understand that, 'cause, man. It's crazy stuff going on in the country.
And my mom talking about 42 years. That's right. I'm sorry, 42 years.
Yes,
She's straight.
Wee.
Yeah.
That's a
So
long
nah,
time.
man. Cause I look at her for example. She worked at Florida State Hospital 42 years, retired, then went back, then retired again, then went to the grandparents program at Georgia. So see, that's the thing. Like you in your
just trying to
60s, you
occupy that
still
time.
going. I'm 52. Like man, what I look like? No, I want to do something. Yeah, I got to do something. I don't want to do that, man. I see a lot of guys. They find out they have to do some things. I talked to a guy the other day. No, his name is Britt, Maurice Britt. He'll call him from time to time. He's a few years older than me, man, and I see him. He looks good, but he's busy. He's
Yeah.
doing something. You know
Staying
what I'm saying?
active.
He's staying active. You got to, man. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of like if you had been reading in a while and you just started reading, you ain't been on a computer reading in 10 years, man, that thing is foggy to you.
True.
So
True.
I don't want to get to that point, man. I don't want to get to that point. No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Before I should have asked this question earlier.
What's that?
What made you get into being a motivational speaker? Like, what made you do that?
So actually, let's just say to go legal with it, to say, hey, I want to become a motivational speaker and start speaking to people. That happened when I had COVID. Yeah, COVID will put you in a place, man, where
You'll find some hidden talents.
you'll find some hidden talent. You'll find yourself somewhere too, like 20 pounds lighter, you're scared to go to sleep. Oh, I'm gonna do this when I come out. So I was like, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna do that. Now, I had already been doing that, meaning as in I've always been positive in people's lives. I'm like always try to encourage somebody to do something positive or try to go harder. My cousin Chantel, he said something one day. He said something one day to my, yeah, you'll sell it to me now. You'll sell something to somebody real quick now, or you're like really pushing to go to another level or whatever like that. But I like to see people do well, even if it's not benefiting me, especially if it's not benefiting me. That's you talking. That's your dream. That's what you want to do. So I like to see people happy. I'm not a hater. And if you're doing something, and we may be about to do the same thing, and I'm gonna still help you do yours. You know, so it's like I've always been positive like that. I ain't like
Just
try to
put the
hold
fuel
nobody.
on the fire.
Yeah. And then especially like when you, like in relationships, if I'm with somebody, let's say they don't have anything going on, hey, what you like to do? And I'll pour into them, hey, you might want to try this or try to do that or whatever. But then working in prison all them years too, well, yeah, you had to motivate some people that don't even know how to sweep.
Shoot, yeah.
See? So, like, when I used to have details, I didn't really pick people. I just said, okay, well, whoever you give me, that's fine. Dude come out there, he don't even know how to never swept a floor in his life. Never, like, clean up nothing. There's some people that never worked. So it was like, okay, I got to motivate these people to get them to understand, trust what I'm saying. It's going to work out. We're a team. Let's get this work done. Okay? So when you see that happen, and 6 months later, okay, you look at it now, oh, they going to town with it now.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
It's a girl that worked just recently last year. It's wild. She knew how to. She didn't know how to use a weed eater, and I showed her how to use a weed eater. She was trying. So she went through. Then when the spring came out this year, and she had weeded the same big old hill, and she was like, Mr. Price, I'm gonna come by here and weed eat your stuff. I said, yeah, but you don't know the details. No, I'm gonna come do it. I said, okay, cool, go ahead. So I go and I look, and man, she weeding this thing like a professional.
You see, yeah.
But
Must
what's
have
happening
been-
is she got other people with her that's learning from her what she gained from me, and she knew nothing about it. She from Nebraska or something, so I don't know if any grass can be cut up
Right,
or whatever
right.
like that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like to make people feel like they're a part of something, you gotta keep them motivated.
Okay.
Yeah, if they're unsure of it, if they're kind of scared, like driving a forklift or stacking some stuff or whatever, like you gotta keep people motivated. Hey, it's okay. And then it's okay to make a mistake. Don't be scared to make a mistake. I think a problem that I have sometimes too, you'll find that people sometimes that have all these titles, they kill people that want to try.
Yeah.
They'll want you to be successful until you become successful. They'll want you to accomplish something until you accomplish it. When if you come up to their level on certain things, then they'll disown you.
Yeah, it's
They'll pick at everything wrong about you. And a lot of young people, especially, I feel bad because like a lot of y'all catch it just trying to get out the gate, and people want to hammer you down, and they'll nitpick everything that you got that you're doing. They will sit there and nitpick everything that you're doing wrong. And my
Right.
suggestion to anybody, man, don't be afraid. Like Aaron said, fail quickly. I think I'm thinking about what she's saying. Fail quickly means fail, get back on up, and let's try it again. Let's keep going. It's okay to fail. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, don't judge them. But a lot of times we kill people for just trying. We'll
Right,
kill
right.
them. We'll kill them. But then we'll support them and everything and make it seem like we're their number one fan until they become that number one person. Now we got a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know about this right here right now. Well, look at her, look at him. Like she. No, you don't do that, man. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. Especially nowadays when so many situations coming out where kids want to go out and try things, and coming out the gate, you gonna fail. When I first started learning how to cut a yard, I wasn't great at it. I failed a few times. I learned how to do a lot of stuff. When I started working on the job I'm at now, I made a lot of mistakes.
Right.
And it's okay. It's okay, man. But if anybody out there trying to do something, man, do not let anybody like discourage you. Nobody. I'm talking about your parents, your children, your dog. It doesn't matter. Try it. And if you fail, keep getting it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna come through, man. And I get bothered sometimes when I see some people that's trying to do some things and people that they not liking it. They don't like it, and they'll try to tear them down. But then you say you love them. So what you doing? You love them why? Why you love them now basically because they what?
Right.
Do you love them? So now you don't love them no more because they ain't doing what you want to do.
Is it conditional or unconditional?
Yeah, right. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you can't do that, man. You just can't, man.
That's true, man. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. We came up on the ending, y'all. Anything else you want to kick to him, Mr. Price?
Oh nah. Listen, I definitely enjoyed. I think what you're doing is a really good thing, man.
appreciate
I really
it.
respect it. I see it. You got a lot of things going your way with this right here, and I hope that you continue to soar and reach out to all the audiences as much as possible, man. It's a positive thing. It takes nerve to come in here and do this every Friday night and stay dedicated to it, man.
True.
So I commend you as a young man
appreciate
to keep everybody lifted up and keep it going, man. Get a variety going in here. If you ever need me for anything, let me know. Everybody out there that's watching, keep striving, man. Just keep striving. Keep
Most
striving.
definitely.
Take care of each other. Take care of each other. That's the biggest thing. Take care of yourself, but really take care of each other. It's very, very important, man. Much love for everybody out there watching and that tuning in.
Definitely, and I want to definitely say I appreciate you coming through. You know, a lot of things you said tonight, I know is somebody in these views who needed to hear it. You
Yes,
know,
yeah.
and you know, you dropped a lot of jewels on me tonight, so I definitely appreciate you coming through and coming to have a seat at the table.
Yes.
You know, raw table talk.
Raw table talk. Yeah.
So y'all be on the lookout. Y'all make sure y'all follow Mr. Price. He's tagged in the video. Matter of fact, I tag him again right now so y'all can follow his personal page and keep up with his projects. And then, you know, y'all know the routine with Raw Table Talk. I just tagged him. Let me pin it. Why is it not letting me pin it? This thing acting real fucking. I want to pin it right now, but I'll get back to it. But it's the most recent comment. Make sure y'all tap in with him. Keep up with his projects. And, you know, upcoming speaking events. It's going to be some more of them. And I'm pretty sure a lot more of them.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm going to catch y'all next Friday.